Number 10, The Jamie Foxx Show. 8/28/96 to 1/14/01. It had 5 seasons. Go ahead, you first.
Okay, so I do want to start off by saying the Jamie Foxx Show is one of the top 10 shows and has a main character that is Haitian, Garcelle Bouveau. If you ever see this, I love you, boo. And she was also sexy and is still sexy as all get out. Like, I completely understand why Jamie Foxx was chasing her forever until he got her. Like, she was so...
Even in real life, he was chasing her.
Was he really?
Yeah, we're like,
I mean, like, I don't blame him. I was not aware.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, I feel like, though he didn't make it obviously the top 5, Jamie Foxx was and still is the most diverse as far as for leading characters. Like, he was helping with the hotel. He was singing. Like,
mm-hmm. Did jingles.
Acting his butt off. Like, Jamie Foxx is the epitome of a triple threat and more to me. If I had to pay somebody to be at my wedding, Jamie, you know what I mean? If you give me a discount, maybe we could work it out.
Well, it been 5 years. So I'm gonna start with that. That is literally the best wedding song ever made in life. I listen. If anything, I would want that. If I could get Jamie Foxx, I'm not sure it costs a lot of money, but if I get married and I could have Jamie Foxx sing that song, or somebody like Jamie Foxx sing that song, I would go, damn, that song right there is fucking great. You know,
what, Jamie Foxx knockoff?
Listen, somebody that can do it, because that song. That's probably one of the best wedding songs I ever heard in my life. Oh my goodness, that song is amazing. Garcelle Bouveau, she is fucking beautiful. We first met Garcelle. I first met Garcelle Bouveau and Coming to America. She was
legs that could stop a truck. Oh my god!
She was one of the Flower Girls and Come to America. Also, the last time I saw her was she was in Psych, and she was trying to get some of Gus. So she is a very, very beautiful woman. I love her to death. The Jamie Foxx Show gives me one of the, like, I love when people rip on people, and Jamie would rip on everybody, including Braxton. And everybody knows, if you watch the Jamie Foxx Show, you did this when you said you did the face, the hand is the face. Oh my goodness, which is not. So if I would do that today, nobody would know what that means. But back in the 90s, you did somebody, you ready to rumble, like that's disrespectful.
It was so iconic that, like, after an episode or two, they even had Braxton doing it back.
Mm-hmm. They had to. Shout out to Garrett Morris. And Garrett Morris, he was the uncle on the show, but he did a lot of shows. Two Broke Girls. He's another show that's coming up in, soon. So, like, shout out to Garrett Morris as well. This was in my top 5.
The cheap uncle.
Yeah. Oh, he was very, very cheap. But he had a hotel too. Listen,
look, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. I understand. Don't get me wrong.
No. Number 9 is In Living Color. All right, 5/15/90 to 5/19/94. It had 5 seasons. Go ahead.
So I know it's not a sitcom, but I feel like DeAndre allowed it and should have, because In Living Color is the platform that launched so many people. Like, if you're not familiar, go get familiar. Like, In Living Color changed the game. It changed so many people's careers. It gave us even people that you wouldn't even associate with now. Like, I'm pretty sure J-Lo started as like an In Living Color dancer or something like that. Like, it's not even just the people that you're keeping an eye on. It's even the people in the background that, like, got launched from In Living Color. It's one of those things that springboarded so many careers and gave us so many epic people that you can't disrespect them. Like, absolutely at all.
So I'm going to name some people from A Living Color. Okay, Jim Carrey. But at the time, his name was James Carey, but he just switched it.
Yeah.
So Jim Carrey, Keenan Ivory Wayans, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, Damian Wayans, Jamie Foxx, Kim Wayans, who I talked about before, Sean Wayans, Jennifer Lopez, Marlon Wayans. And let's go on and on. Kim Coles, who's coming up soon. This was a fantastic show with a lot of things. Like if I said, "Homie, don't play that," people know what that means. If I say, "Hated it," people know that people know that is. People know that is. You had the bootleg or crack with the bootleg Home Shopping Network, which was funny. Like it was so many iconic things. This is literally my second favorite skit show of all time. I keep telling people I'm a big Chappelle Shows fan, so that would be my favorite skit show of all time. But this is my second favorite skit show of all time. It brings so many people, and oh my god, it was just so amazing. So shout out to King Irene. So he did a Low Down Dirty Shame after this. Keenan Ivory did. He looked younger in A Low Down Dirty Shame than he did in Living Color because he looked old as fuck. He looked like he was about to die.
You're rude.
He did. Shout out, but it was a really good. He looked. Actually, when I think about it, he was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and he probably looked older than those two things. So, like, I don't know what kind of Benjamin Button disease he got, but he's reversing age. I say that. Number 8, Sister Sister. 4/1/94, 5/23/99, 5 seasons. It's on you.
I love Sister Sister. So much so, I'm pretty sure that's the reason to this day I wish I was a twin. I love Sister Sister. And it just brought in so many aspects. All of the characters were iconic. And so it was just, I love Sister Sister. You can't tell me nothing. You can walk into the room, put Sister Sister on, and it's 2020, and I'm still not going to go, what is you doing? I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to watch Sister Sister, and I'm going to I love that show.
Sister Sister was amazing. Shout out to the cast. I'm gonna say the cast. Tamara Mowry, which I said before. Their little brother, they did his own show, and they both were on each other's shows. So shout out to that. Jackie Harry, who's on 227. Tim Reed, who is on a movie that I can't watch. I'm not afraid of anything in my life, any scary movie outside of 2 scary movies. One is Tales from the Hood. Fuck that movie. And the other, I am. Those fucking dolls scared the shit out of me, though. All right. And I was afraid that, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it. The original, the new It sucked. The original It scared the shit out of me. But Tim Reed was actually on the second version of that movie. You talk about Marcus Houston, who did some iconic things.
Go home, Roger.
He was Roger. He was in a boy band. He had his own solo career. He was on to me one of the worst movies that are so bad they're good, which is You Got Served. You Got Served is so bad that is good. You guys, listen. I don't care. Nobody said the acting was the fucking worst, but it was so bad that
but
it was
it's
good.
You Got Served is Save the Last Dance. It's not about the acting; it's about the dancing. What's that other movie that everyone
Stomp the Yard?
Stomp the Yard. It's one of those shows. It's not about the acting.
But
the acting is always garbage. It's about the dancing.
Here's the thing. Number one, shout out to Megan Good because she was on Stomp the Yard and she was on You Got Served. And I love Megan Good. However, at least Stomp the Yard was Stomp the Yard. Excuse me. At least Stomp the Yard had okay acting. It had legit actors. When you bring the whole B2K and fucking Marcus Houston. Yeah, man, that can't act. Marcus has some acting, like some past acting with just sister and some house party stuff, but the rest of B2K could act the shit. Like it was bad. Like, it was.
It doesn't matter. As soon as those two guys were spinning in the rain, and you had that iconic scene where they're practicing in the rain, we don't care that the acting is bad. We all are gonna go dance in the rain.
It was only one person in the rain. That was Marcus Houston, and I'm not gonna lie.
Omarion did it too.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes
you was dancing in the rain.
Sometimes when it rains, I may or may have not had videos of me dancing in the rain, trying to do it for Little Saint. Trying to do it for Little Saint.
I told you. See, that's how you know it was icon. Like it was a good. It has you dancing in the rain. Okay, I don't want to hear about it.
It's so bad that it's good though. But I digress. However, Sister was an amazing show. Shout out to the twins.
Shout out to the fact that Tia and Tamara Mowry still look really good for their age.
Yes, they do.
Like to this day in 2020, killing the game.
Yes, they do. Yeah. All right. Number 7. A Different World. 9/24/87 to 7/9/93 has 6 seasons. I'm gonna go first with this one. A Different World was a spinoff to a show that's coming up. The one thing about A Different World that I love to see a show grow, and the growth of this show was amazing because the cast for the season 1 and cast for season 6 are totally different. They're like so different. But but it's good though. It's not like it's bad. It's super good. It's about college, so you're gonna be there for 4 years. So, so good for them. It taught me a lot of life lessons. One of my favorite episodes is with Dwayne Wayne and his friend. I got into with the racist people in
Oh, when they went to jail. Was it jail?
Yeah. Yeah. With the jail, and then the cop made them like wash the car. And got like it was such a good fucking show. The episode that I love that. I kind of there's more good episodes too. If you haven't watched Different World, you definitely should watch it. It's fucking amazing. Shout out to that. But that one episode is fucking great to me. One of my favorite episodes in any show. Period. So, shout out to Different World. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, to this day, I still want a Dwayne. Like, very smart, very dedicated, but is willing to tell you, listen, woman, I like sports when I met you. So you understood that that's what's like Busted the Blue, put his foot down. He's like, I understand, Daddy. I love this show. It covered so
Everything.
much. I'm glad I saw it before I got to college age or even high school age, because there are some things that are so true, like going to college and not wanting to call your parents and tell them that you fucked up your budget and you were out of fucking money. And you need help to like an episode where I like pretty early, I believe they like some of the girls snuck away and like try to go to Freaknik, and like, and then also obviously deeper things like obviously seeing relationships grow and watching people fight for love and watching people fight for equality, and on top of the fact that of course it's something that pushed like going to an HBCU and how important that can be. And this show covered so many important topics for a Black person. Like, I feel like a lot of us obviously haven't seen this in a long time. I feel like if you went back and watched it, you'd be even more impressed now than you were then to see how ahead of its time this show was.
So I'm gonna name some names from this show that people actually forget about. So Jasmine Guy was in the show, who was beautiful, bougie as hell. We talk about bougie in
I love my man, but I got some money with me.
mm-hmm. Kadeem Harrison, who played Dwayne. Side note, I actually have a pair of Dwayne Wayne glasses.
I was just like the flip up glasses he made iconic.
I have those. Shout out to another episode that I just thought about too, when he crashed her wedding. He crashed her wedding. Said, "Baby, please, baby, please." Like he fought for.
And he won.
He won too.
She was just like, "I love you,"
Mm-hmm.
and the mom was just like, "Dad."
Shout out to Lisa Bonet.
Yes.
So beautiful. She's still beautiful to this day. Like I said, Dawn Lewis. I talk about from Hanging Mr. Cooper. Mm-hmm. Also, we talk about Sinbad. Sinbad was in the show. This show, and I don't know if I should say this right now, but I'm gonna say it. Shout out to J. Pickett Smith. She practiced her entanglements in the show. So it was like some iconic people.
Okay, but I know that you're naming iconic cast members. I want to put in Cree Summers, only because not everything she did was on film or like a different world, but Cree Summers ended up being a staple, or already was a staple in some of our animated like Black show lives. So I want to give her the respect she deserves, because Cree Summers, you don't even know, is behind a lot of animated shows that we love. So shout out to my girl Cree.
Cree Summers in that show was a little bit dipsy, but she was so beautiful. She was gorgeous. All right. So number 6 is in my top 5. All right. It didn't get to top 5. It got so close. Number 6 is the Wayans brothers. All right. 1/11/95 to 5/20/99. It had 5 seasons. I'm gonna go first with this one. The Wayans brothers is fucking amazing. I love that show. I still watch. I can watch every episode now, and I still watch it to this day. Shawn Wayans, like, I always put up this like versus thing, like we had the better pickup line between him and somebody to be named. And Shawn Wayans, listen to me, I feel like Shawn Wayans is up there. He called literally everybody light skin. It don't matter what color your skin was. Everybody's name was light skin. All right, all right. Everybody's name was light skin. All right. Both the Wayans brothers was amazing. Shout out to Pops. RIP to him. He did some iconic things in that movie, which is obviously bang 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 bang.
I was gonna say, can I do it?
Good, do it. You do it.
Bang bang bang.
Okay. One of my favorite things that he did at one time when he had to save his kids, like he was a good father too. Like shout out to the Pops. He was a good father, but the funny shit to me when we kept telling, "Are you set tripping? Are you set tripping up here?" Like that shit is hilarious. That shit is funny. The recurrent, not recurrent, but the guest stars in this show was amazing too. A lot passed away, but one of my favorite guest stars was Bernie Mac. He made Marlon marry his sister, which I married his sister in one of his older episodes. The only thing bad about this show to me was that it didn't get a serious finale. They just cut it off. Like there was no ending to this. All right, they could at least give him a goodbye. They did not. They had no serious finale to the Wayans brother, which was disrespectful to me because I thought it was an amazing show. It was fantastic to me. The first season, but after the first season, it was when they changed the lobby, when they got everything, and they brought D. He was in the security guard. It made it so much better. Shout out to Pops and D for being on Friday, by the way. They were both was on Friday. So like I said, so that's what I love. The Wayans brother. Those are my top five, along with Jamie Foxx and three others that's to be named. It's on you.
So I love this show.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love this show, especially because between Marlon and Shawn Wayans and John Witherspoon alone, it was hilarious. D definitely, for me, especially as a young girl, to see like a strong Black woman character. I don't know why. I thought D was so perfect. Like, I really did. Even when she had her crazy moments, she was the kind of one like, y'all acting up with her fucking sting, like, shutting shit down. And for some reason, that really mattered to me. But with that being said, I love this show. Like, this was one of the ones that, like, you low-key kind of want to be part of their family. Mm-hmm. And on top of it, the intro to this fucking show, and I use this word a lot. You can guess what I'm about to say.
Iconic.
Okay. Like, just the beginning of the show was so fucking funny. You didn't even get to the acting yet, and it was so funny. Like, all right, cut and break, beautiful guys, dynamite. Like, with the record scratch, oh man.
So this show had two openings. Now both openings had the first part in it. We're brothers. We help me sing with color.
Yeah, we're singing in with color. Give me a high five. All right, cut and break.
However, both openings. Second part was amazing. They actually wrote songs too. So the one doom 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 doom, and then the boom, boom,
and that was like the more modern change. Yeah.
Like I said, most of all, man, I didn't say for all these, but most of all these have great theme songs to it. Man. Number 5, it's going to be a little controversial. Okay, listen, we're not talking about what he did around this time. Okay, we're just talking about the show. Okay, I want to reiterate that. Right. Leave what he did outside. Leave what he supposedly did outside the show out of it. We're talking about the show, okay? Number 5 is The Cosby Show. From 9/20/84 to 4/30/92. He had 8 seasons. I'm gonna go first. First things first. I love you, Felicia Shide. I want to marry you. So to this day, Felicia Shide, baby, I love you. Oh my goodness! You want to get married right now?
I can smell the restraining order.
Felicia Shide, my goodness, man, she's so fucking beautiful. Even to this day, now she's 72, 73 years old. Oh, I like Felicia Shide.
What are you thinking? I kind of want to know.
No. Listen, I know we can say anything one in this show, but what I'm thinking probably shouldn't be said. Anyway, The Cosby Show was damn near the perfect Black family. It gave people like me, I'm not sure about anybody else, but like me that grew up in some hard times, something to look up to. It gave us, like, you seen the dad and the mom, they're lawyers and they're a doctor. And you seen that, you like, I could be a lawyer, I could be a doctor. It was positive. It was super positive. So many great things that happened on this show. I'm not gonna lie though. Felicia Shide was caramel. Bill Cosby was chocolate. I don't know how they have these too many light skinned kids, but they had a lot of light skinned kids.
Wow.
They did. They did have a lot of light skinned kids. It was just an amazing show. It was a very, very positive show. Like I said, like I said before, I'm not a big fan of a lot of comedians that don't curse. Bill Cosby is one of them. His stand-ups, I don't hate Bill Cosby's stand-ups. However, his show was amazing. He did do well a couple other movies though. I loved him in Meteor Man. I loved him in Ghost Dad, and another movie he was in. But this show overall was fantastic. The cast was so much chemistry. It spawned a different world, which a different world was amazing by itself. So look again, shout out to the Cosby Show. So you.
Yeah. So I definitely agree. Obviously, they took the Lisa Bonet character and made a different world for her going to school, and made just like it was just as epic. The Cosby Show obviously is controversial now because of the main character's extracurricular activities. However, all of that aside, the Cosby Show was definitely a staple. The Cosby Show, like another show to be mentioned, was an ideal Black family. Whole, successful parents, exactly, instilling morals into their kids, and just some really funny, dope situations. From Felicia Rashad's character, telling her child's boyfriend, if you don't get your shit together, you don't have the money bringing you nothing every time soon.
So you saying that, right? And I know I said I love Felicia Rashad. That right there made me love Felicia Rashad. That scene right there made me look. I love strong women, and that scene right there made me fall in love with Felicia Rashad. I love you, Felicia Rashad. If you ever see this, I love you.
Stop sending her messages.
I'm just saying. Shoot my shot.
She's an adult.
I'm adult too. She's only 40 years older than me.
Now, she was an adult when she made it. You're now becoming an adult. Felicia Rashad definitely was strong, classy, still sexy. Like she found that balance as far as portraying that as a woman, which I think was and still kind of really hard to do. So I will definitely always give her the utmost respect for that scene. Was definitely, especially as a child, like it was like those subliminal messages were like, okay, you can still be, what we consider traditional and still be, I don't want to say a feminist, but because I feel like that's a word that's more recent. But as far as for having respect for women as a gender and still finding that balance as a part of a household, and kind of making that work and still be awesome at it. Obviously, this is the one that launched Raven Simone's career, which apparently she still ain't spent her Cosby money. Shout out to you, sis. I ain't mad at it. But the Cosby Show just had so many good episodes. Not even just like the morals and the like messages, but just some were just straight up funny, or just straight up entertaining. Like them, I believe the grandparents came over and the family put on a show for them and was singing
on the nighttime, baby. It's the right time.
Right. And it's just like, even in just being funny, you see a family coming together to do it, and it's amazing.
Well, here's another kind of iconic episode. I'm gonna take your word. When Stevie Wonder came, and they made that song, and they made that like that remix that everybody's saying like random stuff, and then Claire was Felicia Rashad, I love you, and Stevie Wonder sung I just called to say I love you together.
I just called.
Which is a fantastic song, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to that. There's another I love, like we talking about not feminist, but like the chauvinistic parts of it. It showed how men that don't think they're chauvinistic can be chauvinistic. Because that one riddle that she gave about a dad and a son was in a car accident, something like that, and they both was in a coma, and they got into the hospital, and the doctor said, I can't treat them because that's my son. How could it possibly be? And none of them thought that none of them could think that it was the mom. Like what the fuck? Like so, it gave us a lot of great episodes lot of great moments. I remember one episode when Bill Cosby was was doing the race around the laps and shit. He looked super old, but 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 he was doing the old school race. Like it was a fantastic show. So shout out to the Cosby Show. All right, number 4, and this is going to make Cam very very happy because we talked about this show on the last episode. Number 4 is Living Single. 8/22/1993, 1 to 1/1/98 had 5 seasons. Cam, you're first.
Okay, so as DeAndre said, the last one of the last episodes we did, I brought up this show because of the fact that, again, I'm going to use this. At this point, I'm going to have to find another word. Living Single is iconic. If you don't know, now you know. Like, Living Single was a platform for the group of friends sitcom scenario where it looks supposedly unrelated, but there's like always this, maybe 1 or 2 that are related, 1 or 2 of them are neighbors, kind of brought together by random, and it kind of follows just like everyone as a whole, like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, one of my favorites, Big Bang Theory. Living Single was the blueprint for all of it. And when you go back and watch Living Single, you realize why it was perfect in so many ways. And on top of it, like many of the top hitters on our list, it showed a group of Black successful people all in their own right, from even the ones that they thought were less educated, like who was, a handyman, to, Max, who was an attorney, to
was an asshole.
Look, just because she's a woman doesn't mean she has to be nice, okay?
Oh, wait. If she was a man act like that, I would still call her an asshole.
And I respect that. To kind of the person I want to say who's kind of the center of it, who was an entrepreneur, to a little bit of, we had all of the characters were such a variety, from spiritual to materialistic to entrepreneur to everything. And it came together in this way to show you, even when they fight, even when they bicker, even when you are stubborn and they're going to leave the only spot on the block for them to park their car and let the first shit on their car. Like, at the end of the day, even if you fight between your group, you are a group. And there's nothing that can come into that. Living Single, there are no words to be able to explain how great of a show it really was. So, yeah.
So, Living Single is number 4 on this list. I'm not surprised that it's there. The top 3, I kind of figured they would be the top 3. But Living Single, I'm not surprised, is number 4. I want to read this out loud. Living Single was created by Yvette Lee Bowser for Warner Brothers and debuted in 1993. One of the original just titles was Friends for Living Single. Asked if he could have any, the executive producer of NBC asked if he could have any show on TV. He said yes, Living Single. Yes, Friends was a ripoff of Queen Latifah's Living Single. All right, I wouldn't call it a ripoff. I would just say that Friends came from Living Single. We had to talk about it last episode, and yes, Friends came from Living Single, but Friends also spawned, like she said, Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother. What else?
So many.
So it wasn't for Living Single, you wouldn't have those shows. I'm surprised Cam didn't say this, so I'm going to say it. One of the best theme songs ever.
I wanted you to say it so I can sing it. Because we are living single in a 90s kind of world.
I'm glad I got my girl.
That's right.
Oh,
I loved it.
that theme song is amazing. What Cam said last episode about the girl with no face dancing in the background. She was killing it. She was killing it. Yo, that was killing it. I said earlier in the episode that I love thick women. Queen Latifah in this show was fucking beautiful. She was beautiful. Everybody was beautiful in this show, but Queen Latifah was beautiful. This show was fucking great. Like I said, I'm gonna say it every single time I see Friends or somebody talk about Friends. Living single is, to me, is better than Friends. I'm not saying because it's white versus black. I'm just saying it because overall it was better than Friends. Period. From the flavor to the me personally, the acting, the comedy, I could relate to Living Single. So yeah, it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fucking show.
And they used to roast each other so bad.
So number 3 is Family Matters.
Did I do that?
9/22/89 to 7/17/98. It had 9 seasons. Has the most seasons than any show on this list. So shout out to Family Matters. You're first.
Family Matters was out of the top 3, obviously the one I started watching the earliest and continued to watch. I feel like to this day, people still talk about Family Matters and the dynamic of how it started versus how it ended with Urkel and Laura. For the people that think Laura was horrible, let it go, okay? She said she wasn't interested. He wasn't listening. She didn't lie or mislead. She was being honest, okay? And eventually she changed her mind and he became a different person. With that being said, I do want to mention the fact that they kind of just like disappeared a character. Like, what happened to Laura's little sister? She went upstairs and never came back. Like, she just, one day they sent her upstairs and she was just like eternally grounded. She never came back downstairs.
They didn't even mention her. Like,
right. They treated her like the daughter from Power. Like, you just never saw her again. With that being said, as a nerd, I definitely, at first, like, and obviously Urkel's character progressed, but at first I was like, even as a nerd, I was like, bro, you're doing, what are you doing? You're doing too much. But obviously, once they balanced the character out and he grew a little bit, I loved Urkel and he was the person that I related to in the show. Just because being a nerd is hard sometimes, people don't be appreciating you. But like, what I've already said, Family Matters was one of those shows that always had a lesson at the end. From really in the beginning, like when they paid guys to take Laura to the date, all the way until the end where Steve realized that a person like Myra, who's like more obsessed with you than in love with you, isn't someone that's healthy for you. Like, it was messages that were like way beyond the age frame of like people who were watching it. Like, as an adult now, I'm like, damn, these messages in these episodes were important. But as a kid, I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, standing up to bullies, putting friends before family, doing what it takes to make up for the mistakes that you made, even when you're wrong, working as a team. Like, Family Matters was that, like, boom, 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 be a good person, be a good person, be a good person, like, morally based show that was also super funny, had a lot of diversity, had a lot of great cast members, a lot of visitors, like even just one-timers. Like, we had NBA stars. We had, like, it was,
Grandma
Family Matters was so good. Like, Family Matters was so good. And I feel like, of course, that's why it made it to top 3, just because there was nothing like it. Family Matters was and still is original. That's it.
So I love Family Matters. I literally just watched all 9 seasons.
How
And
do you fit in all of this in your schedule?
well, when you got a Fire Stick that can do certain things, it's not. I said
I'm gonna
certain
mail
things.
you mine. You do what you do.
You got Fire Stick can do certain things. I mean, you could do a lot of things. Oh, and plus, I work from home too. I mean, only on Mondays I work from the office, but from I work from home. So when I'm working, this TV's on. Um, with that being said, like I said, watch all 9 seasons. Family Matters was in my top 5. It was Family Matters is amazing, amazing goddamn show. Family Matters originated from a show called Perfect Strangers, and I think maybe a couple weeks ago I love Family Matters, and then a lot of people said if you like Family Matters, you like Perfect Strangers. No, that's not true. Perfect Strangers suck. That's why I only had a couple seasons. Family Matters had 9 seasons, so it is what it is. Um, uh, Before Jaleel White Urkel came into play, this show was supposed to be surrounded. I saw the documentary. This show was supposed to be surrounded of Carl Winslow. So it's supposed to be surrounding him. However, the first part of half of the first season, they was actually about to cut the show because it was going downhill. When Jaleel White came with Urkel, it brought a lot of more views. And
Do
then
you have any
mhm.
cheese?
and then it kept they kept bringing him back, and then it was his show. It was because people for the longest time didn't say I'm gonna watch Family Matters. People said a long time I'm gonna go watch Steve Urkel. Like that's how it was in Philly anyway. I'm gonna go watch Steve Urkel. All right. Um, from again, Urkel's development was amazing. It was from him being a scrawny little kid trying to date Laura to the last 2 episodes where he went out of space. It was the development.
It didn't even start with him dating Laura. It literally started with his parents would just ignore him, and he was this neighbor. They're go over they wouldn't feed. If you watch the first season, he would be like, "Yeah, they don't always feed me."
Yeah,
It was actually really horrible.
it
His
was
parents were
silly
just
sad.
terrible to him. Yeah, and then it grew into him. I don't know, I guess growing into this other family and becoming this epicenter. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it was Family Matters. I'm sorry, it was Steve development. Cam said about Laura didn't like him, so get over it. Fuck that. My man Steve.
I was waiting for you to say that. Your face said that you was going to say something.
Listen, my man Steve did everything for her. No. Hold on.
No. We're
Let
going
me
to argue
finish.
about this
Let
one.
me finish. Okay. So yeah, I am a true believer in what you said. If you like somebody, you don't like somebody, period. I'm cool with that. But sometimes she let Steve on a lot, actually. She let Steve on a
Okay.
lot. All right.
As a woman, can I break in? I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead. Finish first.
She let Steve on a lot because she knew that Steve liked her. She allowed Steve to do things for him, which is fucked up. All right. Go ahead, say a piece. I go next. I pass it on to you.
So keep in mind, it grew a lot. Obviously, as his character grew, their dynamic changed, right? But as someone who went back to rewatch this, just because we were talking about shows that we like and because I like Family Matters, Steve again started out this estranged neighbor that would just walk the fuck in. Okay, he was just showing up uninvited. People barely knew who he was. And if you remember, he had a reputation because people thought he ate mice. All right? So I don't blame her for not wanting to date Mice Boy. All right? As things grew, obviously he was very sweet. Urkel was adorable. He tried so much. But after they got over that weird little introduction phase of who Urkel was and how his dynamic in the show, when he became obviously a permanent character, she still was very clear. I don't like you. I will be nice to you, but you gotta chill out. This is not gonna lead nowhere. he still was like, I'll love you forever. Like, and it's just like, okay. Then there was the phase where, like, if you're going to be here, well, you might as well go ahead and handle this for me. And he was just like, okay, because I'll love you forever. Through the airport. Like,
one of the best dances ever, by the way. Go ahead.
Yes. And that's why I had to drop that in there a little bit. And then once he actually developed as a person, not just I'm obsessed with you because I've seen you and I've always loved you for absolutely no reason at all. When he actually got some substance to his character, it caused intrigue, which is natural. Like, if you think about how young they were when they started in the show, they were like 10, 12 years old, all the way through middle school, all the way through high school. Like, you have to give her time to actually think as an adult. She was a child and he was annoying. Like,
okay, so I want to cut it off right there. Okay, so to go back to what you about to say, okay? All right. So yes, again, I wouldn't want to date Mice Girl either. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to do that shit. I mean, as a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid with how they were, I wouldn't do that either. However, let's take it as of that development thing, right? He built the chamber. The episode,
the transformation chamber.
He built that for her.
He didn't.
He built that for her.
He eventually used it for her, but that's not what he originally built it for.
The first one wasn't for her.
No, first one was I don't think it was.
So the first time he turned Stefan, she turned Stefan. She drunk the thing, and Stefan was a dick. He was an asshole, and he liked Stefan. But then he asked her. Then she asked him to bring Stefan back and tweak a little bit, and he made the chamber.
But it wasn't originally built for her.
It was really.
He was just like, hold on, being the same Urkel that he is. Would you like something, Laura? And he did what the fuck she told him to do. But you can't offer the shit that be upset with someone actually.
You made him like listen. You knew he would do anything for you. That's taking advantage of it. Basically, should be a sugar mama.
How is it taking advantage? Do you want $100? Yes, please.
Yes.
You offered it.
Listen. A lot of things in that show she wanted.
They ended up getting married and having children. So what's the problem?
The problem? I'm glad you said that because in the beginning of that season, she actually had a Stefan Arkell. Remember, he split into two. Well, he made a twin, made the twin or the clone Stefan Arkell. He actually had Stefan Arkell. She got drunk at that party, kissed Steve, and now, I think I like Steve. So
it already proved deep down, without the looks, the personality of Steve, even without the looks, is what she was attracted to. That proves my point.
She wrecked Steve's other relationship.
You mean his relationship with the obsessed stalker?
She was a stalker. I'll give you that. But she was a bad stalker, though. But she was
sexy, and that's why most people don't really realize that she was horrible. She had cameras in his bathroom.
And his glasses.
Stalker.
And his glasses. So, no, she wasn't stuck. I'm wrong, but she still ruined that relationship, though. Listen, we can go through that all the time. All right. I still don't like the fact that the Winslows. I don't get. We are about this all the time too. But they left their door open. They left the door unlocked. There's no way in hell. In Chicago, I'm locking every single fucking door.
He's a police officer. It's bang bang on sight.
No. But he even said it. He only shot 2 people. This his whole time
Chicago
as captain.
Must not have been dangerous in the
90s. Shit. And then, just like one of the last 2 episodes, that last 2 shows, they changed the mom at the end.
Yeah.
They changed the mom then. Oh my god, that's so bad. Don't change the mom then.
I don't like that. I'm not gonna lie. A light-skinned mom is never better than the original dark-skinned mom. Especially because if you remember like the beginning of the character Harriet put on for her fucking family. Harriet went in for an interview and straight up got up and got gangster on her old manager for a job to support her family.
So
she was always
Mm-hmm.
Harriet was a bomb character.
Yeah, so man, so we can talk about Family Matters all the time, just like with the next two shows we talk about. But shout out to Family Matters, it was amazing. All right.
Facts.
Number two is the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That is number two. 9/10/90 to 5/20/96. It has 6 seasons. You can do it. I'll give you the opportunity to do it.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
That's my shit.
On the playgrounds where I spend most of my days.
That's
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, all shooting some b-ball outside the school. And a couple of guys, they were up to no good.
They
Started
started
making
making
trouble in my neighborhood.
I got a one little fight. My mom got scared. Oh my goodness. Fresh Prince of Bel Air is amazing. I'm gonna take this first. Fresh Bel Air is amazing. I'm gonna just go like and I'm gonna go into the future. It still has my favorite episode of any TV show in history when his dad come back. When his dad come back is my favorite episode in any TV show in fucking history. Before I even knew he did that off the dome, in part of the dome, it hit home because I know how that feels. I know how to feel. I know how that feels. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not ashamed to say. Almost every single time I see the episode, I like watching it a lot. But every time I see the episode, I start crying because I know how that feels. That is a fucking amazing episode. Shout out to Will Smith. You're my favorite actor of all time. I love you. Outside of 2 movies you did. I'm serious. Look, listen. I'm not gonna lie. After Earth sucked. After Earth was hot garbage. And The Legend of Becca Vance wasn't good to me. Outside of that, I love all your movies. So shout out to Will Smith. Fresh Prince of Bel Air was really ahead of his time, though. Actually, if you want to think about it, it was really ahead of the time. The one thing I do hate about the beginning, he ran from ass whooping. His mom may run, but he still ran from ass whooping. But it's so many things to talk about, like his pickup lines for one. Pickup lines were amazing. His pickup lines are fuck.
Are your feet tired? Because you've been running through my mind.
All day. like the pickup line were amazing. He killed like his insults to everyone, like literally everyone, especially his uncle. Shout out to James Airy, rest in peace. He was uncle. Like those insults were hilarious. His uncle cousin always got it. Always got it. Shout out to his best friend. He put his best friend on the show. Shout out to Jazz. The iconic handshake. Like that shit is amazing. Tata Ali grew up to be ever so beautiful. And who knew she could sing? Because one episode she killed it. Hillary was like everybody needed that bougie character. She was super bougie. Again, the one thing I hate about the show is the dark skin to light skin mom. Like the original OG Aunt Viv was amazing. She had lines. She had lines. There was no lines for light skin Aunt Viv. Like
ain't nobody want to hear her speak.
She was just there. There was no lines for light skin Aunt Viv at all. This was an iconic, let's take your word, iconic TV show. It's not just like an iconic black TV show. Like everybody knows this show. Everybody loved this show. It proved that once again that it's like the Cosby Show that you can grow up to be somebody. His uncle was a lawyer / judge. His aunt was a professor. Like it was amazing. They got rich from working hard, going to college, working hard. So look again, shout out to Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Again, when Dad come back to my favorite episode of any episode, and it's definitely one of my favorite shows of all time. All right, it's on you.
Okay, so start with rest in peace to James Avery.
Mm-hmm.
He was always that tough dad that you kind of always wanted because Fresh Prince was just iconic. Shout out to Aunt Viv #1. Janet Hubert, who gave us that super dope episode where she goes back to dancing with that pink leotard. Tatiana Ali giving us that low-key R&B like album like episode where we were ready for that shit to come out.
And tell me why you're playing with my mind, boy.
And then fucking Carlton and Will dancing in the background for her. Obviously, Will Smith, even in that episode that you talk about, definitely one that's memorable, especially when we know that it was off script and it was something that was super genuine for him. It definitely triggers me, like some other people who may have come from a single parent household. And then we can't forget about this show giving us Alfonso Ribeiro's classic dance. Like to this day, he still has to do that because this show just made it something that everyone remembers. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like a few other shows on this list, covered so many bases. DJ Jazzy Jeff, as underrated as this man is, getting thrown out to the front door.
Every episode.
Fucking Hillary's fiance getting... And it's not funny because he died, but Hillary, will you marry? And as someone who's gone skydiving, that is kind of scary.
I've have gone skydiving, but he went bungee jumping though.
He went bungee jumping. Yeah.
So I've been indoor skydiving and I've been outdoor skydiving. I'll do that again. I'll do both of those again. Losing a little weight, I'll do both of them again. I will be damned if I ever go bungee jumping. There's no way in hell I'm letting, and it's gonna sound fucked up, but there's no way in hell I'm letting any white man tie a rope around me and push me up anything. Fuck that. Fuck that. There's no way in hell.
What I will say is one thing that I really love about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is Jeffrey. I feel like he was so underrated. Jeffrey was throwing shots.
Oh, he was. From
beginning to end. Like for someone who you pay to like be in your home and technically be in servitude, this thing was roasting.
He was getting everybody.
He was roasting people so badly, and it was so funny. So from the beginning of the show to Will just being, a kid from Philly, trying to keep his individuality, flipping his, blazer to the colorful lining, to the end where it's just him standing in the room after they've all moved out and like him trying to figure out what he's going to do. It takes you through a lot of growth for all of the characters. It takes you through a lot of emotions for all of the characters. It really makes you think about, just childhood things all the way to what it means to really be an adult and grow up. And even things like commitment and marriage was covered in this show. Mm-hmm. It was one of the things that if I had to pick like 5 shows to erase from my mind, there's no way in hell I could erase like this show. It was just that great. No way in hell. You couldn't pay me to take the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air out of my like life experience. So
I'm gonna pick it back off something you said. There was, and something I said as well. I know I said, like I said, when his dad come back is super sad. The best episode. However, there's a lot of episodes that they tag with some shit. Yeah. So Will got shot.
The episode where they got arrested.
The episode where they got arrested. Yeah, and they said because they were black. The episode that Will got shot saving his cousin. Mm-hmm. When Uncle Phil had a heart attack. When Will took those speed pills.
Yeah, and then Carlton accidentally took it and was off his shit.
Yeah. So they tackled a lot of shit. Go ahead.
I do want to add one episode that I think is super important when Will and Carlton pledged and Carlton wasn't black enough. Mm-hmm. I feel like that really addressed something within the community where black people were always telling other black people you were acting white. Which obviously is not possible. Mm-hmm. I'm really glad they did an episode about that because I feel like it's one of the only shows that address something like that where you're different, but is something that still needs to be appreciated and respected. And we need to all just appreciate, the differences between all of us. We're obviously not clones. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the only only show on this list that even has an episode like that. Mm-hmm. And I really, 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 really respect that. And obviously Will steps in and checks them for that. Mm-hmm. But that I feel like that's something that's still kind of going on now. Nowhere near as much, but there's still going on. I feel like there's still there's an undertone of that till now. So
all right. So shout out to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Number one of the top 90s black sitcoms is Martin. From 8/27/92 to 5/1/97 for 5 seasons. Cam, you're first.
So obviously we're all familiar with Martin. What's up? What's up? What's up? Too. Like, I'm not going to lie. Personally, I would put number 2 over number 1, only because Martin was a little bit more adult. It definitely, obviously, there's no like childhood portion of Martin's life. Like, it is when he's a grown man. He's got his woman with him. He's got his boys with him. He's working on his career. Like, that's where the show even starts off. With that being said, it's still number 1 for a reason. Martin is super iconic. It's built off of that living single dynamic that we were talking about. And it has the funniest add-in characters. Like, when I tell you this is the only show on the list where the main character plays so many other characters in the show, but Martin has so many staple episodes, like from Raw Man from the Fifth Floor, dropping by, to his crazy mama, to them going on a trip together, and him and Pam. What was it? I don't even remember what kind of road it was.
So Rat Dog, but hold on, but it came back though when Pam hurt her foot, something like that. It came back, and he had to fight him by himself too. So yeah, so it came back. Yeah.
I feel like obviously a lot of these staples have like a less than intelligent friend. I feel like Cole was super hilarious, and even just the character development on Cole from beginning to end, obviously along with everyone else, was funny. Us all trying to figure out what the heck Tommy did for a living. Like, and so some people are like, oh, he had to have been a drug dealer. But I was like, but there's an episode where he's doing stuff with kids. And so it was just like, Martin was it was always funny. It never left me like upset. And on top of it, I feel like the Martin and Gina relationship complex was something that a lot of people saw as ideal. Someone you can laugh with, cry with, be upset with, yell with, go on a diet with, figure out how you're going to get your head unstuck from the headboard with. Like, like, it was just that thing where they did absolutely everything in tandem. Even when they argued or weren't 100% happy with each other, they did it in a more realistic way versus the whole, oh, I forgive you, I love you, we'll have this fake conversation thing. It was just like, no, I'm not going to tell you I got too many tickets where the car got towed. I'm just going to run all these errands on foot, and you going to type thing until you figure it out. And so I just feel like Martin was, I don't know, less sitcom-y and more realistic, but still perfect in its own way.
So first things first, I do want to say that I did have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air over the Martin. I had these both in my top 5, but I did have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air over Martin, because you're right. It as a kid, you remember the Fresh Prince more because it was character building from youth to adult. Martin was just for adults, and you've actually felt like an adult a little bit watching Martin as a kid. However, Martin is fucking hilarious. The second thing I want to say is, I need to say this. Shout out, R.I.P. to Thomas Thomas Ford, because he passed a couple years ago, I think. So shout out to him. Nobody knew what his job was, like as you said. He did have a little small job, like I say. He worked at a like he did something with the school with kids.
It was like a youth center or a school or
Yeah.
something.
He modeled. He did like, at the strip club with Pam. I actually kind of wish that their relationship would lasted longer in the show. It was like 4 episodes that, that it was going. Um, you said this and Evan said this in the past that like it is like a friend show. I don't see it as like a friend show. I think it was just literally Martin and there are other people. Only because like me for like a friend show, it like with Friends, Living Single, Big Bang Theory, um, How I Met Your Mother. Even though like Ted Mosby was saying doing the narration, it was about other people as well. Like I feel like Martin was just about Martin for the most part. There's episodes that dealt with other people, but
No, I agree with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was funny. Shout out to one of my favorite episodes, or favorite scenes in the episode is when Mark couldn't find a CD player and he did the New Jack City and he dragged that dog around. That shit was hilarious. The fighting of the rat thing was hilarious. When he fought Tommy Hearns, that was hilarious. Um, even the first even the first episode, uh, when he told Gene to step, and then it's like, yo, so I mean, it was real. Like you said, Martin was real. All right, he played literally every he played a lot. Like you said Cincinnati and his mom, but don't forget Otis. Don't forget Roscoe. Don't get the guy between you don't no good. No good.
The mechanic.
The
What's
mechanic,
his
yeah.
name?
Um,
And the karate guy. What was
yeah.
his name?
Uh,
Oh my god.
so don't and it had a lot of guest stars. I mean, a lot of passed away guest stars. It had Biggie Smalls on there. Little Richard was on there one time. And the development of the show was amazing from season 1 to the radio show to where he got his TV show. It was beautiful. The only thing that hurt this show was actually Martin, and I'll say why. A lot of people don't know this, but you look it up. The reason why Martin stopped because Martin was trying to get a little bit too handsy with Tisha Campbell in real life. If if you remember the last season, she had a I think restraining order on Wakanda, but she still had to do the show. So a lot of the scenes or episodes, she wasn't there, or they
They were
wasn't in the same
separated.
room.
She was like in a different state.
Yeah. So like even with the final episode when they both had to go to California, like they was both in the same on that episode, but they were they were. So the only way I heard that show was Martin because he wouldn't get too handsy. But overall, this definitely should be top 2 because it's a staple in Black culture and Black 90s sitcoms.
I was gonna say, since we are talking about the negatives, though obviously this made it to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to Martin's growing inappropriateness behind the scenes, one thing that the Martin show did have that was like stereotypically bad for the 90s shows was Tashina Arnold as like the Black best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one, within her own right, Tashina Arnold is amazing. And I'm not upset that she necessarily got casted as the best friend, but this constant that she, like, there was like a constant undertone that somehow she was less beautiful than Tisha Campbell.
Oh, fuck that.
Right, exactly. Pam was serving body from beginning to end, okay? And she's already beautiful. On that note, they did balance it out with this wonderful, like, comedic banter between her and Martin the entire time.
I'm about to say that.
But I feel like that's their way of kind of recovering from that fact, but they did fall into that stereotypical thing where they have like this darker best friend, and they're kind of there to like fill in the character of the first best friend without giving them like the respect that they deserve.
So before you go, I see where you're coming from, and it was and I know what you're talking about, but I do want to play devil's advocate a little bit. The reason why I teach it, I did my research even before this ranking. I did my research on Martin. The reason why Tisha Campbell got this role was because Martin and Tisha Campbell was on House Party. When they were trying to find somebody to do it, and she wanted this role, they already knew each other already from House Party. So that's why she got this role. It wasn't because that she was Pam was black. It was just because he knew Tisha Campbell was.
No. I didn't think she got the role simply because of that. I just hate that it fell into that stereotypical category where like the main female lead is lighter than her best friend, because that's one thing that kind of concurrently runs through a lot of the 90s black shows and movies.
So you said that a lot of people didn't think that Tisha Campbell looked better than
I mean, like, personally, our opinions of her is different versus the stereotypical standard for if you're going to have a diverse cast or even a black cast, it tends to be that the lead female is lighter than her best friend or the supporting character. And it was just like movies and shows, like all of them were like that. And so I hate that it fit into that category, but she still killed that role. Like, I'm not taking away from that at all.
That role was made. I don't think you can switch those two. Like, I don't know if Tisha Campbell could be Pam because the jabs that Martin was doing, it didn't seem right on Tisha Campbell. I don't know. I always wanted a relationship like that. Like I said this on Facebook a lot, that listen, my next girlfriend, if you don't have a friend like Pam where I can bust on her a lot, then I don't want it, because I wanted that so fucking bad. Like I wanted those jabs. So yeah, shout out to the whole show, man. It's amazing. All right, so that's the end of the rankings. Do you want to say who your top five was?
I feel like everyone's gonna beat me up after I've talked about like my preferences. Some of these shows, obviously, that are on the list, I didn't think of until after the fact. But my top five was The Fresh Prince, Sister, because I still want to be a twin. Family Matters, because I'm very wholesome. Martin, and Living Single. That's my top five.
So when I did my votes, my fifth pick was the Jimmy Fox Show. It was amazing to me because, again, just like Cam said, his range was amazing. Number 4 was the Wayans Brothers, because that family aspect. At the time, me and my little brother was that close as well. So the Wayans Brothers was fantastic. Number 3 was Family Matters. Number 2 was Martin. And number 1 was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But this is the rankings from 200 people, 200 plus people. So with that being said, I'm DeAndre Robinson.
And I'm Cam. Don't forget.
And we will see
100% mocha latte.
And we will see y'all later.